Just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Celebrate the soul of the holidays and support Altadena and Pasadena. Join us on Monday, December 15th, 7 p.m. inside the Bram Goldsmith Theater at the Wallace in Beverly Hills for Soul of the Holidays, a joyful night of Motor City soul, gospel, and holiday classics featuring an 18-piece band, all-star vocalist, and community choirs, all in support of the Black LA Relief and Recovery Fund. This performance comes at a pivotal time for many in Altadena and Pasadena. This is their first holiday season since the devastating Altadena Eden Canyon fire, which destroyed homes and community spaces. While the physical losses are immense, the power of community remains, and your attendance directly supports recovery, resilience, and renewal. So, be sure to join us Monday, December 15th, 7 p.m. inside the Bram Goldsmith Theater at the Wallace in Beverly Hills for Soul of the Holidays, benefiting survivors of the Altadena Eden Canyon fire. For ticket information, just log on to tickets@thewallace.org. That's tickets@thewallace.org. This is a community call to act. KBLA Talk 1580 and the Black Freedom Fund.
The blackness. Keep on. Never say die. Keep on. Blackness. Keep on. Never say die. Keep on. Blackness. Never say
You are listening to and streaming a More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, your host and White House correspondent, joining you not at the White House, here in the house of KBLA. I'm in studio today here in LA. It's a beautiful day here in LA. In fact, it's supposed to be a beautiful day. When I pulled into the parking lot, it was about 87 degrees outside. Come on now, 87 degrees in December in LA. For all of our leaders, learners, and listeners in colder climates, it's okay to live vicariously through us. It's okay to do that. It's all right. I'm in touch until you be in touch. Be sure to follow me on all the socials at Dr. Nii-Quartelai. Just type in Dr. Nii-Q, DRNIIQ. And there I am, fresh for you to follow. Also, download the KBLA app if you haven't already, and subscribe to a More Perfect Union podcast. That way you won't miss some of our most memorable moments, especially as the year winds down. I mean, can you believe that 2025 is almost to a close? I mean, wow. 2025 feels like 3 years in a single year. I mean, it feels like we have lived 9 lives over the course of 2025. But guess what? We are still here. We are still standing. We still rocking with each other. I have said this before. I'll continue to say it, that I think the surest way to get to the other side of all the things that are happening in our country and our communities is to do it together. It's to lock arms. And that's what we intend to do each and every day here on A More Perfect Union. That's what KBLA is all about. With that, it's time for your national news roundup. It's time for you to decide the good, bad, and ugly headlines of the day. Kicking us off, Leslie Jones. Let me tell you how much I love me some Leslie Jones. Leslie Jones is a friend of the family. Fun fact, she and Montre did a movie together many years ago. And fun fact, Leslie Jones performed at my wedding. Yeah, it was pretty cool. For those of you that watched David Tatera Celebrations, you had a chance to see it. And it's still out there. I think if you go on to Apple TV, I think you can watch the episode. But the love runs deep for Leslie Jones. But apparently the hot flashes run hot for Leslie Jones. Now, the Grill reporting that Leslie Jones' hot flash hijacks The View until Whoopi Goldberg stepped in. One of the hallmark symptoms that often accompanies the change is the sudden all-consuming hot flashes. If you have been around your mother, your grandmother, your aunties, your sisters of a certain age, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These all-consuming hot flashes, the kind that don't care what you're doing. They don't care what season it is or how many layers you're wearing. It's just heat. Distracting and overwhelming, often leaving you drenched in sweat. Well, Leslie Jones recently found herself right in the thick of it, though thankfully she was among sisters. See, during an appearance on The View today, the 58-year-old comedian and actress was there to promote her new comedy special, Leslie Jones Life Part 2, when mid-conversation and without warning, she erupted into a full hot flash, sweat dripping down her face and all. Despite the onset of the pause, the host attempted to press on with the interview, but the Emmy winner couldn't help but acknowledge that the heat was winning, joking that she could barely concentrate as sweat began to roll down her face. Co-host Joy Behar, and Sonny Hostin, they also sort of weighed in on this, and they began to use their note cards to help fan Leslie as she announced, "I'm spritzing." And then a moment of just pure sisterhood. Co-host Whoopi Goldberg, she stood up to help and gently pat Jones dry. While the gesture was meant to soothe her, the sheer thought of a Hollywood legend wiping her brow only made Jones crack up even more. We love you, Leslie Jones. Always keeping it real. Always keeping it real. I'm sure a lot of sisters out there that can relate to this. And so now we know, brothers, you know, if we see a hot flash in progress, right, Whoopi has given us an idea of what we should do, right? Moving along from one talented sister to another, Beyonce, Venus Williams, and Nicole Kidman are going to co-chair the Met Gala with Anna Wintour. The Guardian is reporting that the co-chairs of the Met Gala, which is held every year on the first Monday in May in New York City, they've been announced as Beyonce and Venus and Nicole Kidman. The gala is known as the biggest night. It's fashion's biggest night out, as the Super Bowl of fashion, and it will be Beyonce's first time in attendance since 2016 when she wore Givenchy to attend a Met Gala themed ball. The role of the co-chairs is to oversee everything from interior design to catering to the guest list, as well as hosting, possibly performing. Hello. And crucially, dressing to hit the brief. So it's worth noting that past co-chairs have included everyone from Zendaya to Harry Styles, Rihanna, Donatella Versace, and Lin-Manuel Miranda, as well as Sarah Jessica Parker. We love to see it. I mean, my goodness. If the visuals from the Renaissance tour are any indication, if the visuals from the Cowboy Carter tour are any indication, Beyonce is going to have us in a chokehold at the Met Gala 2026. And not just her, but her and Venus, Nicole Kidman, all of them. Some classy ladies joining Anna Wintour. We love to see it. When we come forward, keeping with this talk of arts and entertainment, I'm looking forward to being in conversation with Dr. Thomas Lockhart. Dr. Thomas Lockhart, he is an artist himself. And if you've ever been to the LockhartGallery.com website, I don't need to tell you how talented he is. And he's joining us live when we come forward. You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hey, nice job, Pete. I like those clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Kohl's Customer Appreciation Event is here, right in time for the gift exchange. Even though everyone pretends gifting isn't a competition, it kinda is. At Kohl's, save on gifts everyone will fight over. From sweaters and flannels to air fryers, toaster ovens, and more. Because deep down, the gift exchange isn't just about giving. It's also about winning. Shop Kohl's and save on top gifts now. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offers end December 14th. See store or kohls.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 15.
I got the champagne. Everybody's glass.
KBLA Talk 1580 congratulates our own Keith Underwood, host of the weekend entertainment show Black in the Green Room, on his recent honor at the annual National Arts and Entertainment Journalism Awards. Keith received a first place award presented by the Los Angeles Press Club for his entertainment reporting, and we couldn't be prouder. Congratulations, Keith, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
We have no permanent friends or permanent enemies. Only permanent interests. As we effort to build a more perfect union.
You are listening to streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, and really excited to welcome my next guest, mixed media fine artist, Dr. Thomas Elias Lockhart III. He's an international selling artist from Denver, Colorado. A lot of folks may know him for his graphic design background, but fine art has really always been his passion. What I am so amazed about is that he is a self-taught artist. And if you go to his website, you'll see so many different styles and mediums of art. His love for art, his love for color is something that just jumps off the screen. It jumps off the canvas. And here to jump into our conversation is Dr. Thomas Elias Lockhart III. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I don't know if I've talked to another artist on the show who was self-taught. Talk to us about, where do you begin? Where do you begin as a self-taught artist?
Well, self-taught artist pretty much just says that you have not been to higher learning for artwork. Like you didn't take classes or get a major degree, bachelor's, associate's, doctorate, or whatever in higher learning through college. And so all my artwork, I always say I attribute to whatever I learned from high school is what I took with me. I did go to college and got a degree in graphic design, and I believe that kind of helped in actually the format of, or maybe even layout of how I do my designs. But I've always been like a really diverse artist, so I work in so many different types of textures and formalities and different types of genres, especially early on in my art career. So for about 25 years, I've been doing this as a passion full time. I've been almost 9 years doing it full time, and yeah, just learning everything as the process continues to keep going with the work and stuff that I do. So I learn from just maybe just seeing and experiencing and just trying out and experimenting with many different types of things that are in the art field.
And so, some of the things that you experience, that you explore and experiment with, is media. You are a mixed media fine artist. For folks who are less familiar about what that means, tell the people, what does it mean
Yes,
to be a mixed
absolutely.
media fine artist?
So mixed media is using more than one particular medium when you're working on, say, canvas or wood or paper or any type of textile, could be metal. And you're not just doing oil, but you're doing oil and you're mixing in fabrics and textures and other type of collage materials, or you're doing acrylic and you're like things I'll put jewelry, I'll put other different types of textiles. I've even put a mink coat inside of a canvas. So I've done a number of different things in those particular aspects. So it's actually using more than one particular medium to piece. And so from there, you can have like 2D and you can also have 3D. So 2D is just regular seeing a piece of art, but 3D is actually having something come out into a 3D fashion with the work that you produce or I produce.
So that whole mink coat that you used was in 2D or 3D?
It was a 3D. So what I did, I've done this series called The Notorious Dreamer. And this was the second version that I did of Biggie Smalls. And this particular piece I took down to Miami for Art Week for Art Basel a couple of years ago in Spectrum and Red Dot, one of the major shows that they have down there in Wynwood. And this piece, I had this idea of putting Biggie on the bridge on the Brooklyn Bridge, and I wanted to show him with, sometimes they throw those mink coats over themselves and they cover the front. So that was the process of it. So I said, well, I think I want to try to see if I could make this thing real. So I actually went to a fur mink coat business that I knew the owner, and I told him the idea, and he says, "Man, I want to see this when you finish it." So I actually had them take a mink coat and they cut down the pieces that I needed from the coat. Yes. So yeah, so that was really cool. And then they stitched the back, and then I actually stitched the coat into the canvas around him, and so the zipper had everything. The pockets, it was black mink fur, real fur. And so you can zip it and open it up, and then that would show the rest of the image. And so in that image, I put like a real gold chain on him. He had a real watch on him, an Echo watch that I put on him. And then I made money that actually protruded out of the canvas, and I designed the money with his face on it, his birthday, and many other different type of elements and stuff that you would see. And then in the background, I painted the Brooklyn Bridge and everything with that piece.
Is there ever a point where you say, okay, we've got too many elements in this piece, right? Is there ever a point where you say, okay, wait a minute, we got the mink and we got the gold chain and we got the dollar bills and the this and the that, because it seems to me that as a mixed media artist, as you're adding to the it's a lot easier to add to the canvas than to subtract from the canvas. And so how do you balance out, executing the creative with, not putting so many elements on the canvas that it feels to the viewer that they're competing with one another, unless that's what you're going for?
Yeah, so absolutely. So within that particular piece, I usually do sketching for the work that I do ahead of time, so I can kind of lay out like what this thing is going to kind of look like in the process. And I know being a visual artist or an artist, they want to make sure your eye stays on the canvas or it stays at a particular focal point that's going to bring you into the canvas. And so within that particular piece, there were several different elements that can actually get it. And the gentleman that bought the piece, this was pretty amazing, because if you're familiar with Jean-Michel Basquiat, he actually owned a real one in his home. And so he says when people would come over, because the gentleman bought the piece in Miami, he said when they would come over to his house, they would walk right past the Basquiat piece and get focused right on that one. I thought that was an absolute honor because
Whoa.
because I love his work. Yeah. So that was amazing. Yeah. So I think is, however, the whole elements, it's sometimes I do these images and these pieces that there's a lot of different elements, but they're specifically placed in areas where it can just keep you engaged into the piece. Like many people will see my artwork and they'll say, oh, shoot, I didn't see that the first time. And so there might be different elements placed in different things on purpose, or just that's just how they fail when I put the image together.
Talk to us about Art Basel and the role that Art Basel has played in your career as a self-taught artist. Just this past weekend, Art Basel commenced in Miami. I have been trying to get to Art Basel for many years.
Yes.
And this year it looked like it was going to happen. And a very dear friend, a very close friend of our family's wedding weekend competed with Art Basel, so maybe next year. But talk to us about the role that Art Basel has played in your career as an artist, and what guidance you would offer to other self-taught artists that maybe haven't made it to Art Basel quite yet.
Yes, absolutely. So I've done Art Basel 3 years in a row. The last 2 years, last year I didn't make
All right,
it.
Dr. Thomas, you don't need to show off. I mean, 3 years, I ain't been once, but go ahead.
Yeah, and this year, I was in a private show down very close to it. So the first year I did Art Basel, and I'm not showing out because I had no idea this was going to happen. This show called Spectrum and Red Dot. It's a major show in the heart of Wynwood. It gets major traffic. There's a lot of people that come to the show. And half of the show is in a big warehouse. Half the show is Red Dot, which are artists that are curated by galleries. And then Spectrum are just solo artists. And so I exhibited it in the Spectrum side. The first year that I did it, I actually won the director's award for the show. And I was really tripping out because the year that I actually did it was when we had a more majority of Black artists that were actually in that show. Because for a long time, that show had been probably majorly, white artists in particular. And now Art Basel is starting to really grasp hold of the African American and the African diaspora of art, and really cultivating that throughout many of the different shows that they had. So I had no idea they even had awards, but that was pretty awesome because that particular show was an international show. You have artists that come from all over the country, all over the world, and people come from all over the world, and celebrities and everything, to come buy art too as well. And Art Basel.
Was that your first international show?
Yes. Yeah, that was my first international show. Yeah.
That's really worth noting, right? And I found that, no matter what your jam is, what industry you're in, sometimes the most challenging part is just getting started. Getting started. And so, talk to us about when your commitment to fine art when that went beyond just being a hobby, and when you said, okay, I can make a steady Eddie living off of doing this, that I really feel called to do this. Talk us through that moment where, your trajectory just sort of, tilted a little bit on towards the direction that you're on now.
That would have started back in 2000 when I really decided that, hey, I really want to do this. And the passion of graphic design went down and art started to take over. And so that's when I started playing around with a number of different mediums and different styles and techniques and just kind of branching from there. And I believe I've had a lot of mentors over the years, where I had a lot of people who gave me some guidance on certain things and different aspects and avenues. So that was amazing to be able to have at times in my career. So I think that's very important for artists to be able to have some type of mentor, somebody who's been in the art world for a while, and that they can give you guidance and give you direction to where you want to head. Especially if you see someone and say, man, I think I want to do what they do. So it's best to find somebody who's doing what your love and your passion you figure that it could be eventually.
Yeah. When we come forward, I want to hear a little bit more about the artists that have inspired you along the way, including folks like El Salvador Dali and Thomas Kincaid, George Hunt, just to name a few. But I also want to talk a little bit about the business of art, the business of fine art, of Black art. I want to talk about that because I don't think we talk enough about the business side of things when we talk to artists. And so more with Dr. Thomas Elias Lockhart III, mixed media fine artist extraordinaire, when we come forward. You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
The audience is listening. Thought-provoking, eye-opening, heart-rendering. This is where authentic voices meet powerful discussions on culture, community, and change. This is where Black voices matter. He's breaking boundaries, amplifying diverse perspectives, and tackling the issues that matter most to you. You're inside A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Governor-elect Mikey Sherrill says she'll continue efforts to improve maternal health in New Jersey, especially for Black women.
I'm committed to continuing that important work to improve maternal health outcomes, particularly for Black women.
Speaking at the Nurture New Jersey Summit, she credited progress made under Governor Murphy. Former Family Matters star Darius McCrary is out of jail after 2 months following a missed child support court date. He entered a no-contest plea to 5 felony charges and will be sentenced in February. His team says he was improperly served while battling COVID. And Chicago grade schoolers got a surprise visit from former President Barack Obama during a field trip to the Bessie Coleman Library. Wearing a Santa hat, he greeted the Burke Elementary students while in town to check in on the Obama Presidential Center, set to open in June 2026. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
In Orange County and Irvine, 5 northbound at Jeffrey Road. An accident quickly cleared from lanes to the right shoulder. 5 northbound through Orange County. Your stop and go from Barranca Parkway to Ball Road. South 605 before Ramona Boulevard. A car and an SUV tangled. This accident was in the slow lane, but not anymore. It has been cleared away. South 605, you're slow from Valley Boulevard to the 5. 10 eastbound before the 605. Watch for a stalled vehicle blocking the middle lanes.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A programming note for you. Tonight at 6 p.m. on ESPN, I encourage you to tune in to the premiere of a new 30 for 30 documentary called Booyah. It's the story of groundbreaking ESPN sportscaster Stuart Scott, who passed away in 2015 from cancer at the age of 50. Before Stephen A. Smith, Scott was the face of ESPN, and raised the network's profile with his unique blend of journalism, personality, and blackness. Scott had the courage to bring African-American culture to network TV, and it paid off big time for ESPN. It also turned Scott into an iconic figure in sports broadcasting and inspired many young black broadcasters to follow in his footsteps. If you never saw Scott's highlights on SportsCenter, when he often said, "This dude is smooth as the other side of the pillow," or when he yelled, "Can I get a witness from the congregation?" Take a moment tonight to watch the legacy of Stuart Scott. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Celebrate the soul of the holidays and support Altadena and Pasadena. Join us on Monday, December 15th, 7 p.m. inside the Bram Goldsmith Theater at the Wallace in Beverly Hills for Soul of the Holidays, a joyful night of Motor City soul, gospel, and holiday classics featuring an 18-piece band, all-star vocalist, and community choirs, all in support of the Black LA Relief and Recovery Fund. This performance comes at a pivotal time for many in Altadena and Pasadena. This is their first holiday season since the devastating Altadena Eden Canyon fire, which destroyed homes and community spaces. While the physical losses are immense, the power of community remains, and your attendance directly supports recovery, resilience, and renewal. So, be sure to join us Monday, December 15th, 7 p.m. inside the Bram Goldsmith Theater at the Wallace in Beverly Hills for Soul of the Holidays, benefiting survivors of the Altadena Eden Canyon fire. For ticket information, just log on to tickets@thewallace.org. That's tickets@thewallace.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580 and the Black Freedom Fund.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hit me! National News The Consequence. Informed opinion. And analysis beyond the headlines. You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey. He's Dr. Thomas Elias Lockhart III. He's a mixed media fine artist. And we've been having a grand old time, sort of taking a jaunt down memory lane. Art Basel, which just happened this past weekend in Miami, is actually a part of his origin story as an artist. It was his first sort of international art show, and now look at him.
Hey, that was awesome.
It was quite awesome, and there are a number of other artists who've inspired you along the way. I know Salvador Dali, Thomas Kincaid, George Hunt, among them. But talk to us about what they mean to you, what their art means to you on your journey as an artist.
Yeah, so we'll start with Salvador Dali. I think I really fell in love with a lot of his work as I was talking about high school. Just getting to research and find out in the mind of him. He really seemed like he was completely unhinged as an artist, and he was very well known worldwide. He was a surrealist artist. So I didn't know if I was going to end up going that direction of that particular genre of art at the time, but I just really, really liked his work. So in his work, and then the next person we talked about, Thomas Kincaid, he was an artist that died young, died in his 50s. He was at the time the biggest known artist in the world. He was artist known of color and light. He did a lot of landscape pieces, and I love to see how his houses would light up in the darkness. It seemed how his paint would just glow in the houses, and I love the colors and the process and stuff that he would take, and learning a little bit about the background of his work. And probably my favorite artist would be Paul Goodnight. Paul Goodnight's based out of Boston. He is an artist probably for the last 40 or 50 years, an absolute amazing artist, and he has a wonderful background. He's done work for the Olympics. His work has been on many TV shows and movies, many accolades and stuff that he has, and just love the textures and aspects of stuff of the work that he does. And so as I have been growing as an artist, there's other different artists that I've been inspired by, as we had talked about Jean-Michel Basquiat, just going back and doing the research and seeing, because I've done a couple pieces paying homage to him too as well, and seeing where he started, what his work meant to him, what his work meant to so many other people, and for him dying so young and being able to make such a worldly impact. And one of his pieces at the time of its sold a couple years ago, sold for like $110 million, which at the time was like the largest piece in American history selling. And it was done by as you would say, like a Black artist. His father was French Haitian, his mother was Puerto Rican. So I know he spoke 3 different languages, and he had his 3 sisters who actually run his whole empire and everything now. So just love the work and the detail and the thought process that he had with the pieces. And there's so many other people. Charlie Palmer, who's based out of Atlanta, has a number of amazing work, and I love hearing from him. There's Larry Puncho Brown, has mentored many artists, and so I take different bits and pieces from a number of these different artists from all around the country, seeing where they started in their career and where they're at. Many artists had told me as I initially started that, they saw how diverse my work was. And they were like, you do really good work, but you need to kind of stick in one particular style until you get known, and especially for galleries. And then you can eventually branch out from there. And that was one of the things that it just didn't work for me. I just kept on working in many different aspects. I never found a particular thing that was like, that's my particular niche. Now, as I'm growing, I'm adding different elements a lot into a number of my pieces that you can kind of recognize. Even though the piece may look different, you may see some of those particular elements and different images that I use too as well. Plus, I do commission work. I really pride myself in being able to, like, if you have something, that's something that I can do. I don't just stick in one particular niche. So that's been a blessing for me.
That's awesome. And I'm sure it makes for a pretty steady business. Let's talk about the business of fine art, the business of Black art. There's a lot of talent out there. There are a number of folks out there who are also self-taught, but they may not be as well equipped to be able to build a business off of it, right? Yes. And so talk to us about, your top 3 tips when it
Yes.
comes to going from art as a hobby to art as a professional, art as a business.
Yes. So one of the first things is that you need to write a goal and goals, having your short-term goals, your long-term goals, and then looking at where is it that you want to be in a certain amount of time. And so the second would be, of course, having a couple of mentors in this art game that have been in it for quite a while, because they can tell you a lot about the ups and downs that you can maneuver and move out of the pitfalls and move out of the landmines that you may face in an early stage. And it's very important that you believe in yourself, because you got to be the one that believes in yourself more than other people. Because, for a number of years, I have like a van and I travel to a number of different shows. So it's getting out of your comfort zone is a big thing. Being able to go out and speak to people and talk to them about your process and what you do. There are a lot of artists, and I'm not holding it against them, that are kind of recluse a little bit. They're kind of very introverted, and they just want you to see the art. Let me just do the art and let it speak for itself. But a lot of people purchase art because of the artist. They want to know about the artist and how he came up with these particular concepts. And so I believe those are particular types of things that you want to do. And money management is a big thing. Those are one of the things that you're going to deal with your whole career, and with the different aspects of trying to figure out, like, can I afford to go to this place? How much can I afford to do? And then you kind of work your way as the time goes on and progresses. You can find certain things in your community to where you're at, and then you can slowly build and then research. That's a big thing. Researching the shows, researching the facilities, the organizations, the events, could be corporate, could be, looking for people, getting into different type of organizations where people are constantly looking for people to do work for, or they're looking for specific types of designs. And so that can definitely help you too as well, especially in this world of social media. It has made it extremely easy for artists, and also very frustrating too as well, because things change quickly on a dime. And so being able to not stay comfortable and not to be complacent, and definitely not procrastinate. So if you have an idea or something that you want to do, run it by somebody, run it by yourself, do the research and see, has it worked for someone else before? And then, like I said, every artist has their own style and would fall in a particular niche or niche. And you can find out maybe what is working with that type of work that you're doing and producing. But like I said, goal setting, that's a big thing. So you can look at your progress, and you can also see that there's many obstacles and stuff that we face. But like I said, with social media and technology, things are getting better and opening up bigger opportunities. Galleries were the biggest thing. I remember when I was younger, I would just go around to galleries and have my book and my art and all these things, and they wanted to have you email your stuff to them. It wasn't like you couldn't really just set up appointment. They wanted to know where you showed at before, where was your work at, and where can we see it, and these different aspects. And it got me discouraged for a little while, but I know I had to keep moving forward. And to the fact of, like, if they say, hey, here's my information, you can email me your portfolio, and then following up with people, and then asking them, hey, what is it that you see, or things that I can work on as that artist, male or female, continues to grow.
Yeah, Dr. Thomas, in our remaining minutes, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the impact of AI when it comes to art and the art business. Are you reticent about some of the AI technologies that are already starting to transform the art world, or are you embracing it? And if so, how are you embracing it in your work?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it did have an intimidating aspect at the very beginning, because imagine being able to type in a couple of prompts and it kicks out a piece of artwork in 5 seconds that looks like, something like you've never seen before. But what I gained to look at it is that we are human, and until we disappear, we're going to want to be able to have that human ability and touch, and being able to see, like, say, for instance, an artist, look at the time, the sweat equity, and the ability of the gift that they have, that they took all this, amount of time to create this work. People really appreciate that, because it's through that particular process. It was a mind that did it and not a computer that did it. And so with the AI technology, I can use that maybe because I'm a visual artist when it comes to using images and stuff that I use with my work too as well. So I may go look for something, or
You may very well go and look for things. We seem to have lost our connection with Dr.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. There you are.
Sorry about that. Yeah. And so in the work that I do, I'll maybe use AI to give me ideas, or help me with the ideas I already have, to see if it can create a visual that I can use to help me when I'm in the process of creating my own work.
Well, our thanks to Dr. Thomas Elias Lockhart III, mixed media fine artist. I want to encourage folks to really check him out. I had a chance to visit his website earlier today, and I want to encourage all of our leaders, learners, and listeners to also visit that website. Go to lockhartgallery.com. Go ahead and visit lockhartgallery.com, and you'll see the range. It's a wide range of work, of styles, and we love to see it. We love supporting artists and entrepreneurs here on A More Perfect Union, and Dr. Lockhart is no different. Thank you for taking the time to join us here, and come back again soon.
Yes, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored.
You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580, the quiet part out loud when we come forward.
Striving to make America a nation as good as its promise. This is A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Cedars-Sinai is helping shape the future of Los Angeles, working alongside local communities and showing up with resources and healthcare programs that open doors for people across the city. Through career development programs like Next Gen Healthcare Pathways and partnerships with over 200 organizations like Black Men in White Coats, Cedars-Sinai is educating and empowering future healthcare leaders right here in LA. With access to education, mentorships, and hands-on experiences, we can build a healthier Los Angeles together. Cedars-Sinai, here for LA.
Aging is a blessing, and it doesn't have to mean slowing down. This holiday season, talk with your family about building a healthy, active life. With AARP's Staying Sharp, you'll get tips and tools to make strategies for better brain health simple and fun. Plus, recipes and even games for a fun diversion. Visit stayingsharp.org/get started.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
One thank you. California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Notable journalists, industry leaders, lawmakers, change makers, tastemakers, and you, working to build a more perfect union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. It's time for the quiet part out loud. And you might remember, I think it was a few days ago, or was it yesterday, we talked to Dr. Wright. Dr. Wright is an expert on Alzheimer's. And while we were talking about some promising new drugs and therapies that are out there, while we were talking about sort of signs and presenting symptoms for folks to look out for, especially as we enter into the holiday season, and we spend a little extra time with our loved ones, it's a reminder of the outsized role that caregivers play in caring for all of us, caring for all of our family members, including the ones that may not be able to care for it themselves. But it is worth noting 4 pieces of advice for caregivers from caregivers. NPR is reporting that, as we all know, it takes a village to raise a child. That's an African proverb, meaning that it takes community to provide a healthy and safe environment for a child to grow. But what happens when you grow up? Does the village disappear? As adults, we don't always realize that there are a myriad of situations where we need our families, where we need our communities to have our back. Did you know that an estimated 53 million Americans are acting as unpaid caregivers to loved ones? This according to my friends over at the National Alliance for Caregiving and AARP, their 2020 caregiving report. That means that 1 in 5 people that you know have had their lives upended to ensure the health and safety of loved ones. And this often comes at the expense of their own mental, physical, and emotional health. And so this NPR article that resurfaced recently features a former paid caregiver that thought it was important to talk to the folks over at momofmymom.com, a website that chronicles the caregiving journey between this lady, Jacqueline Revere, and her late mother. And what I want to pass along to you, what I want to pass along to our leaders, learners, and listeners are 4 pieces of advice for caregivers from caregivers that I think is worth mentioning. Number 1, be gentle with yourself. Your life is changing, and you only know what you know. There is no blueprint for caregiving, so be gentle with yourself. It's important to remember to take time to mourn how this changes your life personally. This might look like getting therapy or doing internal work in order to bring your best self to the situation. And so, number 1, be gentle with yourself. Number 2, don't be afraid to ask your loved ones for help. Don't suffer in silence. Don't do it. To process all these feelings and tasks, you need to establish a care team. for yourself as well as the person that you're caring for. And so you should figure out how people in your life can help with things like sending money or supplies or taking time to sit with you. Delegating is an important task. And so don't run from it. Number 3, know your rights and explore your resources. Look, in the midst of all of this, many caregivers, they still have their 9-to-5 jobs, and communicating with your employer, setting expectations, and possibly finding alternative ways to work are key. It's also important to learn about your rights as a caregiver. Look into your workplace policies and state laws to see if you qualify under eligible leave for Employee Caregiving Time Act. It's to use paid vacation time or sick days to care for a loved one. And if not, see if unpaid leave is an option under the Federal Family and Medical Leave Act. Finally, number 4, caring for yourself is just as vital. You need to take time for yourself. You need to create a system for living. Everyone is different, but finding time for yourself and starting your day with a practice like meditation, stretching, prayer, journaling, it makes a difference in a balanced life. And so those are 4 tips that I thought was important to pass along to folks. We're not waiting till the new year to share these. We're going to start right now, and hopefully you start employing these tips starting today. 4 pieces of advice for caregivers from caregivers. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope these tips were meaningful to you, and I hope they make a difference in your life. I really do. We're going to have to leave it there. My thanks to the entire village that helps us produce a more perfect union. To our executive producer, Tavis Smiley, to our sound engineer, Brother Andy, to our show producers, Faraji, Art, and Journey, and of course, to each and every one of you, all of our leaders, learners, and listeners. We curate this show every day with you in mind. We also curate this show hoping that you do what you can from where you are with what you have. By all means, do something. That's the only way we've ever come this far in building a more perfect union. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, and you've been listening to KBLA Talk 1580.